Argosy Locks cruise, and we're taking off here. So we're gonna do a 2.5-hour cruise here and explore the harbor of Seattle, Elliott's Bay, and then go into the Ballard Locks and into the lake over there. So here we go.
Let's see, let me come out here. How you guys doing? Alright. What a beautiful day, huh? Well, hey, I'm Spencer. I'm going to be your tour guide for the next 2 hours or so. And we're going to get started. Before we do, though, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. Captain Zach told you I'm a local native. I am indeed. I'm a 5th generation Seattleite on my dad's side. Do we have any other locals on board today? Any locals? None. Wow. These guys right here. Okay, great. What about the rest of the West Coast? West Coast people back there. Okay. BC. All right. Great. What about the East Coast? Any Easterners on board? All right. Not any. What about let's see, Midwest. Midwest. Anybody still in town from the Seahawks game? Packers? I saw somebody wearing a Packers shirt. Well, I'll be walking around the whole boat today, and there's not a ton of you, so if any time I'm walking around and you have a question you want to ask, please feel free to do so. And with that, we're going to get started. So, first of all, we're going to be making our way north along the central waterfront here. Most of what you're going to be seeing is off on the right-hand side. So for starters, we're going to start off in the year 1896. Now, this was the year that the steamship Portland made its landing here on the central waterfront, just to our right, that empty space there. There used to be a pier called Pier 58. Now, the steamship Portland came into Seattle here with over 2 solid tons of gold on board. This basically marked the beginning of the Klondike Gold Rush, or the Yukon Gold Rush, and it caused thousands of people to flock to the city of Seattle here to seek their fortune. A lot of local businesses got their start because of this, because they needed about a year's worth of supplies to go up to Alaska to do this prospecting. So among those companies you have Nordstrom Shoe Company. They started out just making shoes, selling shoes, and then also Bartell Drugs is a very large pharmaceutical chain. They got their start during that time. Off to the right, we just passed the Seattle Aquarium at Pier 59 there. The Seattle Aquarium is really a great part of the city, a great institution here, because there's no trained animal acts over there. There's nothing like you would see at SeaWorld. Most of the animals over there are all native species to the Puget Sound region, so you can go and see a lot of amazing local wildlife without having to put on any scuba equipment. They primarily operate as a research and educational institution, so that's really awesome. Folks, if you direct your attention just about a quarter of the way up the skyline, I'm going to show you there's a structure up there with sort of a garage door, some garage doors on it, some glass windows. It's a little bit of a green color, and then there's a slanted walkway in front of it. That's the newest addition to the Pike Place Market. Has anybody been there today, or perhaps in the recent past? These guys right here. Yeah, that's one of the most popular tourist attractions in the city. It opened in 1907, and it's one of the oldest publicly operated farmers markets in the country. They've been consistently operating with the philosophy of meet the producer, which basically means you can go there and buy produce and also buy art and crafts from the people that made those products. So it's a really amazing way to take part in sort of a smaller sense of an economy. In this day and age, we have this behemoth of a global economy, so it's really awesome that you can go somewhere and actually buy things from the people that made them directly. Off to the right-hand side right now, if we're passing this long concrete wall, you can see these salmon-colored buildings as well as those turquoise ones over there. This is Pier 66, home to the Bell Street Cruise Ship Terminal. So this was the very first cruise terminal that was built in the city back in the year 2000. And since then, Seattle has become the busiest the busiest cruise ship port on the west coast of the United States. This past season, we saw just around 217 vessels pass through the port here, carrying around 1.1 million passengers total. And just north of that, here on the right-hand side, we're going to be going by the Edgewater Hotel. You can see this gray building off to the right with the beige trim. The Edgewater Hotel was built in the year 1962, originally intended to accommodate guests attending the World's Fair that occurred at that time. Now, unfortunately, they were not able to open in time for the World's Fair, so they had to come up with some strategies to get people to come and stay here. So they took out advertisements in fishing and outdoors magazines, and they said, hey, this is the only hotel that you can fish out of your bedroom window. That's right, so you can imagine there might be a few problems that could arise in that whole process. Imagine waking up at 5 a.m. prime fishing hours, your neighbor's reeling in a 20-pound salmon from 2 floors up. That's some wake-up call, I say. Additionally, in 1964, a little-known British band called the Beatles came and stayed there. There's a great photo of them in Life magazine posing out of the window and fishing. So that also kind of solidified the hotel and made it sort of what we like to call a rock and roll hotel, because a lot of performing artists and bands have stayed there over the years. Just past the Edgewater, if you were admiring those beautiful red, white, and blue catamaran vessels, those are members of the Victoria Clipper fleet. And that fleet of vessels makes journeys to and from downtown Seattle and Victoria, British Columbia. They make that trip in around 2 hours and 45 minutes, which is really impressive, because if you were to do that trip on the vessel you're currently on right now, the Good Time 3, it would probably take us around 8 or 9 hours to get up there. Coming up on the right-hand side, we have Pier 70, which is actually the oldest remaining pier on the central waterfront. You can see the pilings that are holding up the pier if you look close to the waterline. They look pretty darn old, and that's because they certainly are. That pier was constructed in 1906. So that's the oldest remaining pier there. Today there's a great restaurant over there called Aqua by El Gaucho. Great place for some upscale bites if you're in the mood for that. Great views too. And as we pass Pier 70, folks, we've got a special treat for you. This is one of the closest and most unobstructed views of the Space Needle that you're ever going to see. At least on this boat, we're actually going to be able to see the Space Needle from the completely opposite side once we get all the way to Lake Union, where we're going to end the tour today. So I'll talk a little bit about the Space Needle later on, but I want to mention what's in the foreground of the Space Needle right now, which is a park with a variety of sculptures in it, and it's called the Olympic Sculpture Park. It's owned and operated by the Seattle Art Museum, open dawn till dusk. It's a really awesome place to go. Enjoy some art, enjoy some great views, enjoy some green grass. And actually, the largest sculpture in that park happens to be the park itself. It's made to sort of abstractly mimic the geography of Washington State. Now, speaking of sculptures directly on our right-hand side, or the starboard side of the vessel, you can see a big globe that's sitting on top of a beige building with some large windows. It's got a golden eagle on top of it there. Now, that globe is the telltale symbol of Seattle's oldest newspaper, the Seattle Post-Intelligencer. Now, this newspaper is pretty old. They actually started printing before Washington even became a state. Washington was still part of the Northwest Territories at that time. They started printing around the 1850s, and Washington didn't get its statehood until around 1889. Actually, it was exactly in 1889. here to this facility, they load it into those 68 cement silos. And altogether, those silos can hold around 4 million bushels of grain. That's quite a lot. If you don't know, if you're a city boy like me and you don't know how big a bushel is, I'll tell you it's about the size of a 50-pound bag of dog food that you would get at a bulk store. Now it's loaded into those silos and then brought up that conveyor belt there. With the power of gravity is then dropped into large holds of those bulk cargo carriers, and there's one docked over there right now. Directly to our right now, you can see construction site in the distance. It's got an orange fence around it. That's a very significant remodel that's been occurring recently. That's going to be the brand new campus for Expedia.com. Expedia is a local company here in Seattle. They got their start in Bellevue, Washington, which is just about 15-20 minutes east of Seattle. We're going to see some more campuses of a lot of the tech industry companies that have really been sprouting up here in the city. We're going to see more of that later on in the tour. Now, if you see this large black ship directly to the right of us, that is a factory trawler, and that's a type of fishing vessel. That's a larger type of fishing vessel. We're going to see a lot of different types of those as well. Now, that one in particular is docked at Pier 90, which is home to the American Seafood Corporation, and so that's where a lot of these vessels are going to be coming in and offloading all the product that they fish for, and then it's going to be processed and distributed in that facility there. Its neighbor, Pier 91, is home to the second cruise ship terminal that we built here in Seattle. Currently not being used by any cruise ships as it's past the cruise ship season. It usually runs between March and early October. So temporarily you have a lot of other fishing vessels that are moored over there. Now that cruise ship terminal over there is a little bit more unique because it actually has the ability for these large cruise ships to be entirely connected to shore power while they're moored in the city. And basically what that means is that instead of running all of their diesel generators to produce electricity and dump exhaust into the air, they're actually going to be completely connected to the city's electrical grid. So that's really awesome and environmentally friendly. Now, if you see all these sailboat masts on the right-hand side, there's a large rock wall in front of them. This is the Elliott Bay Marina, and it's one of the more popular marinas in the area, really mostly due to its proximity to downtown and also all of the amenities that they have for you there if you pay to keep your boat moored there. It operates kind of like a country club, so they have all kinds of things for you, including on-staff divers who will go and fish out your car keys if you drop them in the water. There's also another amazing seafood restaurant back there called Palisade. Now folks, as we start to